Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. 24/7 researching, it's all a fantasy. But if I make the right plays, it pays automatically. Bankroll showing that I know it dope strategy. On a winning streak, I'm stacking a dose of the bookies, all get mad at me. Confident with how it plays, not clicking on a flex today. 10 times the money, and we all about to get paid. Eric and Josh on the stream, they be killing it. Never gonna stop it, I like if you feeling it. Digging the players, they all know what time you can't make up your mind and just go with your gut. Fantasizing Sasha Cloud, Gabby Williams said watch your mouth. They 1 and they 2, I played it over, they come through. Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum, pick them both, we stacking them. Going big to the maximum, just push them and we cashing them. Let's fucking go, we about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go, we going out blazing. This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. We about to go big.
This is the game.
We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks.
All right. What is up, crew? We got an awesome day ahead of us. It's Thursday, July 28th. We got a 4-game slate, and we got a 3-man crew to break this down because we're going to need every hands on deck for this slate. So many props to go through, so many close spreads. So, yeah, I'm really excited about the 3-man crew we have today. We have our usual boy, Eric, and then we have Cade, a crucial team member that's always behind the scenes, cooking it up and breaking down data and finding these props with us. So how are we doing today, guys?
Not bad. Much better than earlier this week. I'm finally getting my voice back here. As I'm sure you can tell it's a little off today.
Yeah, Eric, you've been sick for the last 2 days?
Yeah, some like 48-hour bug that seems to be going around, but I feel better. Just my voice is trying to catch up.
All right, well, yeah, we'll try to guide through here for you and talk on the key points that you're targeting, I guess, and save your voice. But yeah, how are you doing today, Kate?
Doing well, man. Doing well.
You like the slate?
Yeah, it's slate. We got a flu game coming in from Eric today, so.
I love it. Yeah, so I guess before we start, we're gonna try to get through this as quickly as possible because it's 4 games. We could spend forever because we spend an hour on just 2 games. So we're gonna try to key in on our favorite targets for each one, and we won't have as much time, unfortunately, to really break down each game. But I guess before we do that, should we talk about any key news or overall, and then any playoff implications? Because I feel like there are some in some of these games, and some of them are really important.
I know the Connecticut and Seattle one's going to be pretty heavy.
I think all these have pretty big implications. This first one, Lynx Dream. Lynx need to win this game, or they're pretty much probably done for in the playoffs.
Right. But all the other games, the teams are like 1 game apart from each other, right? So a lot, especially the late night hammer, which is probably my favorite game. So yeah, these spreads are close, and for good reason. Yeah, these are going to be really competitive games. So I think overs could be in our favor today, and just hope that we get a full game run and these spreads actually come true. Because I think the highest spread on the slate is around 3.5. So, but yeah, I guess we can just get right into it. We start the first game. There's 2 games that start at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we'll just start with the first one, the Minnesota at Atlanta. Atlanta is a 1-point favorite, and it's a 164 implied total. I believe that's the highest total on the slate. Yeah, so we get Atlanta at home. They play little better at home. We know that they're not a road warrior team. And yeah, Minnesota gets back Sylvia. She sat out last game due to knee soreness. Do we have any news on like her minutes or status? Is she full, good to go?
You have to assume she's going to go the full run today with the
'Cause
implications of the game.
it's all or nothing, right? Because they only have 10 wins.
Yeah, I mean, if they win this game, they could probably sneak in if they have a tiebreaker over Atlanta. So
Okay. All right. So yeah, this is desperation mode for Minnesota on the road. I'll start with my key target and then hand it off to you guys and see what other ones that you like. But I know she hasn't been getting it done lately and just kind of a shell of herself with Mariah Jefferson. But her PRA is so low. And if, they need this game and she can rack up some assists because that's what she's known for in this team. She averages 4.7 assists and pick up a few rebounds and hit one or two threes. I think she can clear her 11.5 PRA. Earlier in the season she was averaging way higher than this 11.5. She was averaging 17.9 PRA across the entire season. But if you look back since that injury she had against Phoenix about 2 weeks ago, she's just not been productive at all. But it's really low at 11.5. I think I probably like that the most so far from Minnesota. If we look at the advanced stats for her, she leads the team by far in assist percentage at 28.1. So yeah, it makes sense, with this 4.7 assist average. I think, with her, it's just, can she rack up some points with like the three ball? She has the highest 3-point percentage. She leads the league in it, but she also just doesn't take that many threes. But when she does, she's very efficient. So I'm hoping she can land a couple threes because Atlanta, they do give up the three ball. They are fifth. At one point, they were in the top 3 or 4 3-point made allowed. But yeah, a lot of teams take a lot of threes against them. They're third in opponents' 3-point attempt. So teams like to chuck threes against them because they're so stout in the paint. They give up the least amount of points in the paint. So maybe we got some funneling here to the perimeter. So that's kind of my thinking. See what you guys like from Minnesota as well.
Yeah. So talked about Jefferson. I like McBride here. McBride, she's one of their best players on the road because Powers kind of takes a step back on the road. She's more of a home player. I like McBride's. I think it's 13.5 points. She's cleared that in a good majority of their away games this year. So against Atlanta, I think she had about 20 points this year at Atlanta. So
Okay. Makes sense. And then did you have any key ones, Eric, besides these?
Yeah, honestly, just the three that we hit on there between McBride, Jefferson, and I'm assuming that Fowles is going to be, for the most part, 90% plus tonight, and she absolutely torched them on the glass last time. So, like that rebound prop for her. I think if they are going to be playing for the win here, then she's going to have a lot to do with that on the glass and both sides of the ball for the team.
for sure.
Oh, it's
20
at
rebounds last time against Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, she is tied in the first with Asia Wilson in rebound totals this season, so or per game. They're both at 9.7 average, so they are monsters on the glass. That's for sure. Yeah, I get that. And then I guess before we move on to Atlanta, Powers, I feel like in a pace up spot here, Atlanta is still running a very fast pace. They're third in pace. I feel like we could consider her points. It was down to all the way to 11.5 last game, her point prop. It's back up to 12.5. I think that's another one you consider if you didn't want to go with McBride or Jefferson for their scoring. Are you guys lukewarm on her?
Yeah, on the road she's kind of hit or miss, and I think the coach said she's dealing with like a sprained finger or something. So just
That's right.
keep that Keep
Good
that in
call.
mind if you're going to pick her. here
That's a good
today.
call. Yeah, she did sprain that finger in the last game. So yeah, that's a good call out. So probably stay away. And then we always like unders for Shepard, but they dropped her lines down, down to 7.5 now. We played the under on her when it was at 9.5. So I'll probably just stay away from her. She could get some random offensive rebound putbacks and get fouled too by Atlanta, who fouls at a very high clip. They allow the second most free throw attempts. So I just want to avoid those random free throws and fouls she draws and putbacks. So I'll probably fade her completely and just stick with the three that we talked about: McBride, Jefferson, and Sylvia. Okay, and then we'll move on to Atlanta, and then after we do that, we'll catch up with chat. So I'm not fully updated this. Do we have any confirmation? Okay, so we have confirmation that Billings is out again, right? And then Coffee.
Coffee's out. Yeah.
Okay. So it should be this normal unit again with Cheyenne playing the 5 and then Nas playing the 4 and everything else the same, right? So
And Asia, she's out too.
oh right. Okay. So what stood out to me first, and I talked about this with you guys, but Erica Wheeler, her usage just continues to plummet towards the end of the season because of Hayes coming back mid-season from her injury and dominating ball handling. And then obviously Ryan Howard is the ultimate black hole in terms of shooting, ball handling, everything. When she gets the ball, 9 times out of 10, she's shooting it. So she took 30 field goal attempts in regulation last game, which is just insane because it's WNBA is only 40 minutes. It's not even 48 like NBA, and she still took 30 shots. So with Hayes and Ryan Howard playing so many minutes and dominating the ball so much, we always like to go under on Wheeler. We went under on her 6.5 last game, but it was a sweat. She finished with 5. She missed a couple easy baskets that could have put her over. But I think you can maybe consider going, instead of under on her points, you can go under on her turnovers at 2. So Minnesota, we like targeting Minnesota with turnover under props because they are second to last in causing turnovers. Their opponents have the lowest turnover percentage. So they're really not good at causing turnovers. And yeah, I mean, if you look at the defensive rating for McBride and Jefferson, it's really bad. Jefferson is 110. That's one of the league worst for her position. And yeah, McBride's 104. They just don't get it done defensively. So if Erica's not touching the ball that much and Minnesota's defense is not causing turnovers, there's a high chance that it goes under, and just a high chance that it just even pushes at 2 as well. She's averaging, I think, about 2.4 in the season turnovers. Let me double check. She's averaging 2.5. And her minutes are way down too. It's down to like 23 and 24. And last game they played Seattle, which causes the most turnovers, and she only had 1 turnover because she just did not touch the ball that much.
Seattle forces the most turnovers.
Yeah, she had 1. If we look at that game, I want to look at her. She had a 10% usage rate in that game, most recent game. And
it all came at the end. I think she shot the ball quite a bit at the end.
She did.
Well, she
got some offensive rebounds, and that's the only way she got the ball. She either had to get a defensive rebound and dribble it down, or she had to get an offensive rebound. 10% usage rate as a guard here, and then Ryan Howard had 36, and Hayes only had 14. Yeah, I mean Ryan just dominated the usage here. That's probably one of my favorites for Atlanta. I'm curious to see what you guys think, because I think there's some other favorable spots here.
So Wheeler, I think if you, on the opposite side of the coin, if you think she's going to touch the ball a little more, I think her 4 assists are in play over. She thinks she had 8 last time. That was before Tiffany Hayes came back to Atlanta, so that's going to kind of make it a little less lucrative there. But 4 assists, I think she can easily get 4 assists, because when she touches the ball, she's just looking to pass to the black holes. So it kind of maybe correlates a little bit, little maybe not, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and to go along those same lines, Minnesota gives up the third most threes. So teams really,
Mm.
and it's in the second most 3-point attempts, and we know Ryan Howard is going to chuck threes. Hayes is going to shoot some threes. So threes are highly correlated with assists here for Wheeler. So I totally get it.
I like it. I was gonna say, I think one of my favorite plays is gonna be our Ryan Howard here. This is gonna be her first game back home in almost a month here. So a little maybe an uptick for the home crowd and getting into the swing of games here. They played fairly well against Minnesota earlier on in the season, and she just absolutely lit them up, as you mentioned, not only with volume, but still with pretty good accuracy. She had a lot of wide open looks, and maybe we see a little bit of this back and forth from Minnesota between. They played quite a few games this last week, and were they on a back to back earlier this week, or is that somebody else I'm thinking of?
On the weekend they played Connecticut twice, Friday and Sunday. So
Yeah. So a lot of games in kind of a short week span here, and we've already got a couple of between fouls and a knee injury, and we've got Shepard. She had a broken nose, so she'll probably be playing with the mask tonight.
boy.
The mass
There's
chef.
yeah, and then you'd mentioned with Powers as well, her finger. So there's a lot going on with this team, and with them retaining Milik and a couple of these contract pieces here that are just kind of holding the glue of this zombied up team together now, it seems. They were doing really well and playing just lights out, but I think we might see some of this come back down to earth tonight. And this is going to be a big homecoming game for Atlanta, I think. And they're still far enough in the race that this game's going to matter enough for them to push 4 quarters.
For sure. And I think it just solidifies Ryan Howard's minutes even more so. I mean, she's playing huge minutes and trying to do everything. So I think we probably just want our points, right?
Either
Or the
points
fantasy.
or the fantasy. Yeah, I like the fantasy with just maybe a little bit of turnover options or stock options against Minnesota here, and she can heat up from 3 as well. So I don't think you need to narrow down too much because she's probably going to hit most of her props anyways. But I think
She just
you
shoots
could,
too much.
yeah, you could definitely quantify and just like points, and then let's go fantasy with all of it.
I'm with it. She averages 30 on the season. I mean, we always like targeting fantasy with big minute players. So
Oh, she's gonna have the green light and she's gonna play about 35 minutes.
yeah,
She's gonna shoot the ball 20 times.
yeah. Oh, easy. I mean, she shot in the first matchup, which is early in the season, and she's playing much different right now. She took 19 shots. So
Yeah, she's more comfortable at home. If she shot the ball 30 times at Seattle, she's gonna shoot like 40 times tonight if she can.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I would say what fantasy 1, and then maybe 3-point made 2, and then points 3. Are you if people want to get different exposure, or just
Yeah.
you guys want to stick with the fantasy only?
No, you could probably change it up still if you're like trying to maybe correlate Wheeler assists with just straight up points.
Yeah, like that. I mean, we always like our girl Hayes, but man, she's just like a injury magnet and just always the wrong place, the wrong time. every game I watch her just get destroyed. But I mean, they're really making you choose between Hayes and Ryan because they're opening their point props at 15.5 for both. Their assists are the same, and rebounding is pretty similar. But yeah, I would say that it's just with Tiffany, you got to worry about Ryan Howard just taking over and dominating usage, which happened in this most recent Seattle game. Tiffany could barely get the ball. So, I'm probably just going to stick with Ryan over her. And then what about our recent money well that we've just been collecting money with and Cheyenne Parker?
Oh, no. I hate to say it, man. I really do hate to say it, but this is not the matchup for her.
So fade.
Yeah, time to get
I'd
off
fade.
that train.
I was thinking under. but with all the injuries for Atlanta, I can't do it. She's
Yeah.
going to play too many minutes.
Yeah.
And she's too good. I can't go under, but I can't take over either.
Oh, we got Nas. Okay, that's new.
She
Oh,
is
geez.
frustrating, but she's a young
7.5
player, right?
rebounds.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's really good on the offensive glass, that's for sure. But Minnesota's a really stout rebounding team with Shep and Sylvia there. So
they don't really allow many offensive rebounds. I remember I've seen multiple times they allowed like 1 or 2 all game
Yeah.
offensive rebounds. So
I would say that's more fringe for me because Nas really gets it done with her rebounding with her offensive rebounds. She gets so many offensive rebounds, I feel like. Just one quick note. I wanted to show. So Ryan Howard, she has a 36% field goal percentage.
God,
Not good.
look at Tiffany though, 56.
Yeah, Tiffany's efficient, very efficient, and and Ryan Howard has a 93 offensive rating. So, but it's all about volume and minutes with her. That's what you need. It took her 30 shots to clear her points last game. So, as long as she gets to 20, 25 shots, I think she'll be okay.
I hope so.
Okay. Is there anything else for Atlanta, or we just move on?
As much as I don't like Wheeler in general, I think that 0.5 stocks has got to be somewhere. She put up 4 on Minnesota earlier this season, so that's got to be somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah,
4 steals.
Who was the culprit?
She got a couple good ones.
Everyone.
It was mostly turnover passes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
24. Minnesota had 24 turnovers to Atlanta's 13. So maybe consider some turnover props for Minnesota too. Yeah. Okay.
Just a little something. Hey, the 0.5s have been hitting this week so far.
Yeah.
So.
I like that one.
And they moved Hayes' assist down to a flat 2. I don't know if that feels kind of trappy or not.
If she passes it off to Ryan Howard, she's going to shoot
it.
Yeah.
She's averaging 2.2 in the season, so.
Yeah, and Lynx are allowing the most assists to opponents this year, so it's not a bad prop, I think. If she can clear that in a half, I think. Just heat checks to Ryan Howard, so it's possible. I wouldn't bet my money on it though.
Yeah. Okay. I'll mark it here. So
it's tempting.
I would say if you wanted to play a prop from her, I'd probably go with that one.
That would be the one, I think.
Yeah, over her points because ball hog, Ryan. All right. Before we move on to the next game, let's catch up with chat. Sorry, trying to move as fast as possible here. Robert said, "Good evening, gentlemen. Let's come up green tonight. Let's do it. But this is the time to do it. These bigger slates, we have more options to work with. We can find an edge for sure." Dylan said, "That's so funny. I tagged everyone right before that." Let's go. What up? OB, what up, man? How you doing? Miller Time, how you doing? Glad you guys are here, man. Sean, is Eric back? He's back, but not better than ever. He's sick. Robert said, "Let's eat, boys. Yeah, let's do it." Miller said, "We're going to need a wagon to haul this money tonight." I hope so, man. Kairos, yo, what up, man? Underrated, Kate on stream. Don't say Sue Bird over. We'll get to that.
Get ready.
Hey,
Get ready.
What up, Natoa? Dylan, welcome back, Eric. You aren't contagious, right? He's contagious with the right picks, man. You gotta catch it. Phoenix was 166.5. Dylan said. Ray-Ban said, "Nice pick on Quigley play a couple days ago. Points over." Yeah, she just didn't get it done. She didn't shoot, man. But we hit on all our other core plays, so can't get them all. Appreciate that, Ray. Dylan said, "Don't be a jerk. We all get one wrong for that time." Yeah, man. I'll wear the L on that one. I was wrong on that one. She was not involved. She looked checked out. Dylan said, I agree. It's slow. Maybe keep an eye on her second half prop. I think you're talking about. Hey, what up, Io? Glad you're here, man. It's okay, you're late. Someone asked Tina Charles fantasy. Yeah, we'll get into that right now, actually. It's a good segue. Sheriff, what up? All right, let's do it. Next game, Seattle at Connecticut. This is an important game. I think both these teams are one game apart from each other. I think Connecticut's one game up. So yes, a lot of incentive in this game. It also starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. So we have two games starting with the early slate start. 160 point total. And yeah, we'll start with Seattle, the road team. Both these teams match up pretty well in terms of like their team stats. They're both top 3 in defense. Seattle's second and Connecticut's third. But the main difference between them is that Seattle is bottom 2 in rebound, and Connecticut is first. They're the best rebounding team in the league. But everything else pretty much similar and matches up. So Connecticut really likes to get it done inside the paint with their scoring, and Seattle will take quite a bit of threes. At one point, they were in the top 3 in three-point attempts, but they've fallen out since then. They're fourth now in three-point attempts. So, yeah, with Seattle, I just can't get a good read on this game. I know it should be appealing here because of the competitiveness and the incentive behind it. But these teams just have really good defenses. So we're going to have to really hone in on like the holes here and the right targets. I'm going to let you guys talk about Sue. But yeah, I mean, I assume Tina keeps starting and she just played phenomenal that last game, like unstoppable against Atlanta. Just played lights out. And I think Seattle wants her to continue to gain her confidence on this team and her role before the playoffs. So she could keep it going today. It's not a great matchup against the Twin Towers and Connecticut and JJ and Brianna Jones, but yeah, I mean, it's Tina. She's very efficient when given the minutes. I have not marked anything down for Seattle so far because I'm scared of Tina ball hogging again. And then when she ball hogs, you have to choose, okay, who's going to be the second highest usage player? Is it going to be Bree or Jewel? And sometimes Jewel will take a back seat and let Bree do her thing. And that's what happened in that last Atlanta game. It was Bree and Tina basically doing all the work, and Jewel wasn't doing much scoring-wise. So curious to see what you guys think. Who's going to be the leader on the team in scoring and usage, or is it going to be spread out amongst everyone in this matchup?
You can go ahead, Kate.
I know I'm gonna get a little flack for saying it, but Sue Bird, man, Sue Bird is gonna get those 5 points. She's gonna get 5 points, no matter what happens in this game. She will get 5 points. I think it'll be the first quarter. She gets 5 points. She did it. I think both matchups she cleared in the first quarter, first half at least. She's got like 15 points both matchups. Shooting the ball, I think 15 and 11 times in those two matchups. She's gonna take probably 8 to 10 shots this game. Tina's going to ball hog probably. But Sue, I think there's a bit of a narrative. You said she went to UConn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Final game in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see her not getting 5 points. And she's got a good history on the road. I think she's over or pushed in like 8 out of 11 away games, something like that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Like with her scoring, she tends to get it done early on, and then towards the second half, she kind of gets less aggressive with her shooting and shot volume, and definitely distributes more in the second half. So I'm with you that if she's going to get it done, it's probably going to be early on, and hopefully she can get it like a couple corner threes, and you're in the clear.
Yeah, she just needed to land another 3 last game, and she would have been in there. I can definitely see Sue getting in for at least 2 open look threes here. Just need her to actually, land the shot. But Kate brought up some really good points with just her history in this matchup and everything we got cooking for us. I will give a little bit of a nod though to Tina Charles as well. Long forgotten Connecticut player herself. Played there for 3 or 4 seasons. And just really, I think we're seeing Tina step in and assert that dominance a little bit more, like we saw to start off from Phoenix side of things earlier this season. And between her and Brianna Stewart off on the starting unit now, they make just such a nasty duo. And
Yeah.
I was looking at that some like game stat between the two of them, and they had like 50 combined points, like double digit rebounds, almost like 20 rebounds, and a bunch of stocks too. So even in this short time that Tina's been with the team, they've obviously been practicing this new core 5 that they're rolling out here, which I think is going to be their postseason push team.
Mm-hmm.
They're really going to be trying to solidify. I don't know if they can get home court advantage here in the postseason, but as far up the ladder as they can climb, especially to get out of some of these wild card teams that are kind of floating in that 500 range, that I think we need to be looking at maybe here in a couple of weeks. That might be for an interesting kind of postseason for us. But these two teams come to battle, and this should be a really, really good game on both sides here.
Mm-hmm.
I think now with Ezzy back on the bench, the team as a whole is being set up way better to come back from behind, because a lot of the times we've seen between Ezzy and sometimes even Gabby, they get a little frustrated with the offensive side of things and throw out a couple hacks here and there, and even just a couple of trips to the free throw line can really put a game like this out of control. So I love this new look. Honestly, expecting, I would say, still Stewart to be leading the team here in some form or fashion. But in the 2 games that they played this season so far, Connecticut was really keen on the double team, and we saw Stewart assist kind of translate over to that as well. So
yeah, she had 3 and 5 in both matchups.
yeah, and we got another low prop line for us today. So Cade's gut feeling here, maybe we pair an assist line up with a low assist line for Stewart here, with a low point line with Bird. Or if you guys are feeling a little bit more of Tina's side of things today, you can go that route instead. But I definitely think this game's going to start with the front court on both sides.
So do you like Tina's points the most?
I think points, honestly, just because there's so
Yeah.
many good on both sides here, defensive rebounding, that she's going to have to like luck out and get into rebounds.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
she could just, we could see her and Jonquel dual shooting from beyond the arc today, and that could be a real spectacle.
Yeah. I wish we had a free throw prop for Tina against JJ, but
Yeah.
because we know JJ can rack up the fouls, so but yeah, I would say that I'm with you on the Tina. I think her 14 points probably my favorite from her, and then can have assists make sense for Bree, and then I mean with Bree with her stocks, with JJ and Brandon Jones and just Connecticut in general taking so many shots in the paint and driving to the basket, I guess you can consider her block and steal, but like I said, I'm still salty about the block and steals with the scorekeepers. So what's your thoughts on that for her? Another low line for her?
Yeah, you could consider it. I mean, it's honestly been at 2 for like 3 games now, and she's been a little bit back and forth with
Yeah.
being able to stay in there. I agree with you right now. The scorekeeper, that whole nonsense from the other day, is still a little.
Yeah,
It's still too fresh.
Yeah, and we have Alyssa Thomas on the opposite side, who is the one that was the culprit for that burning.
Oh no.
I will say that I've been watching the last 2 games that Tina's been starting and playing these big minutes. Bree's kind of taking on this new role with her rebounding because Tina's playing away from the paint a lot because she likes to take a lot of outside shots and Bree's crashing the glass hard lately, more so than ever this season. I feel like, she's had since Tina started, she had 14 and 10 rebounds, and Phoenix is the worst rebounding team, but Atlanta's a pretty stout rebounding team. They're like third. She still had 10 rebounds, which is a lot for her because she averages around 7 on the season. But it's not a great rebounding matchup. But someone's going to have to get the rebounds here for Seattle because they, like I said, they are second to last in rebound percentage. So something to think about. How many rebounds did she have in the? She only had 3 rebounds there, and then she had 7 here. But again, this is with Ezzy playing 30-plus minutes in both those games. So totally different role now with Tina starting. So, and then any other pieces like do we want to go with Jules 1.5, 3?
So tempting.
Connecticut's they're pretty solid on the perimeter with Courtney, but yeah, I mean they're about average on 3 points allowed and 3-point attempts allowed. Connecticut is.
Do you have anything, Kate?
Yeah, I think Tina. I think I just stick with the points because Connecticut's just so good rebounding wise. And I mean, I saw what Ezzy did. She got 12 and like 19 points against them this year, and she's not really much of a scorer, at least compared to Tina. So she gets the same look. She's going to get at least 14 points here. But yeah, I think they're probably going to double Stewart or at least shade her, give her some extra defensive attention. Maybe not as much as last game because Ezzy's not as good of an offensive player as Tina. But I think the defensive thing will come in handy. I think on the other side of things for Connecticut for their props.
I like it. And I think that, going back to what you were saying, Josh, about the rebounding spike here for Brianna, we're seeing that a lot now because, Ezzy, she can't shoot from beyond the arc or anywhere really even that far beyond the bottom of the post there. And now we have a totally different situation where Tina's pulling the defender out completely. So we get an isolated matchup from Brianna to it's Brianna versus whoever, but tonight we're going to be talking Brianna versus Jonquel. So I'm not exactly sure who I'm going to give the nod here towards because that's 2 beast mode players that are going to go at it. And then to muddy up that water even more, we've got between Tina and Ezzy stepping into that front court. And then on the other side of things, Brianna is going to be coming off the bench. And that's just going to be a lot of big bodies in the way here. So we could see some schemes kind of work out, but I do like that call that I think honestly, we could probably even consider some of Ezzy's unders today because of how much of a lack of involvement she's going to have in the first place. And then you're talking about she's going to step on the court whenever Twin Towers is already out there. And that's going to be pretty difficult for her to work through to begin with.
Yeah, totally. And she's not going to close. She's not going to be with the closing unit. So if it goes down to the wire, it's a close game. She's not going to be out there. So lose out on those minutes. It is scary though. 18 to 20 minutes if she's probably going to play. And I guess you'd probably want her PRA because of how good of a rebounding team Connecticut is. Because her point line, her points, it's so low at 6. I guess if you want to do the under, would you go with the points or the PRA?
Probably still the PRA just to give you a little bit of a buffer. But let me check her first half. She's at 5.5 and she hasn't cleared that in 3 games. I know it's a little tempting. Yeah,
we've been going with that. When Tina's announced the starter in the last 2 games. Let's see the rotation for her. She plays. The last game she played a 5-minute stint in the first and 3.5 minute in the second. So about 8.5 minutes, 8 to 9 minutes looks like for her first half stint. can't really look at the Phoenix game because that was an outlier. They let Tina do her thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the first half makes sense. Just gotta hope that Tina doesn't get in early foul trouble against JJ. And then I guess to finish off with Seattle, Tina kind of taking on this new role and being so dominant, it makes Gabby take a backseat even more so. She already just not involved offensively that much. She's more their defensive specialist, wing player. She's already averaging 6 field goal attempts on the season. So with a 14% usage rate, it's not a great matchup for her at all. But her lines are already so low, I'll probably just stay away. It's too risky, I feel like, to go with the under for her. I would consider her PRA because she does get stocks. But what is your guys' thoughts on her? Just complete fade?
Yeah, probably.
All right. Yeah, she finished with 12 PRA in this matchup. She played 34 minutes. She's not going to play 34 minutes.
I think that was the game where she screwed us over. I think she had like 0.5 fantasy or something to go, and she just didn't get – or she turned the ball over. She went over, and then she turned the ball over or something, and then she screwed us. So, not a great matchup.
Yeah, and she didn't clear the PRA in that game, and she played 34 minutes. But now with her new role with Tina and just how Seattle's been, she's playing only 19 to 22 minutes. So, yeah, it's not a good matchup for her. Definitely not. And the other game, she finished with 11 PRA and played 22 minutes. So this is more accurate about what she would do today, 22 minutes. And she had 11 PRA. Yeah, she's like right there on that edge of that 12 PRA. So it might be a little risky to go with the under on her. Okay, let's move on to Connecticut then. I think the one that we kind of found and discussed as a team last night and we're in agreement on was Courtney Williams' 19.5 PRA under. She did absolutely nothing in both of these matchups. It's a terrible matchup for her because if you know Seattle, the perimeter defense is one of the best. Jewel is an elite defender. Gabby's a great defender. And Courtney finished in the most recent game, 4 points, 2 assists, and 4 rebounds. And the other one, she had 6 points, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. It's just not a great matchup for her. So I feel like Eric said, Connecticut's going to focus on getting it done in the inside like they normally do, and especially against Seattle. If you're going to go at Seattle, the best way to go at them is in the interior. So I think it totally makes sense to go with under on her PRA. What her PRA on underdog was 18.5, Cade?
Yep.
And that's rare.
Moved down to 18.5. Yeah.
You never see underdog lower than PrizePicks. So yeah, they definitely think she's not going to get over that 19.5. So I like that under. And I think we should have some discussion about, because it was people were bringing it up in Discord a lot and asking questions about him, what people thought. Alyssa Thomas's rebound and assist, and if you had to choose between the two, and do you like either one that enough to make it a core target?
You started okay. You got anything on this, Cade?
For Alyssa, I'd say the assists are definitely there. I think she went over easily both games this year, I believe. And she's been rebounding really well recently. But Jonquel going to be back probably full run today. So that line's 8.5, right, for a rebound. So I think I'd definitely got to be on team assists for Alyssa today.
Okay.
Or with 8? Okay. Yeah. Still going to go with the assist.
I mean, Seattle is a bad rebounding team, but I'm with you now that
there's so many good rebounders on this court now.
Totally. What about you, Eric? Do you like her 5.5 assists enough is it going to be in like your top 5 to 10 core plays?
Still not sure if it's going to be a core play for me. Mostly just because I have a lot of interest in Jonquel today.
Yeah.
I think that she's just in a prime spot right now.
No doubt.
And I'm not sure what to expect as far as like full length on minutes. Um, she hasn't been out for too terribly long, but just looking at last year, whenever she did miss some time, it was either last year or the year before that, and she basically missed the exact same time, and she came back and played a fair amount of minutes, but the following game it was still a fair amount of minutes. It wasn't that full run comeback like she might have today. So I'm hoping this game's going to matter enough that they're going to push her a little bit, at least into the 30-minute range here. But there definitely could be some small risk that we don't see her play full minutes here. But I really like her PRA
Me
and her
too.
rebound today. I
Me
think
too.
two best plays for her at home, and she could honestly even smash those in limited minutes too.
Totally would do. She stuck out to me since last night, and I didn't want to mark it on the thing last night as like a core play till we could possibly get some more information on her rotation and minutes. But yeah, I mean, this is a great spot for her rebounding with how bad Seattle is on the glass, and yeah, she torched them the last two matchups, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I think
20
34 or 39
25,
PRA.
8, 17,
Yeah.
and 13 rebounds. Yeah, I like it. I would just say that the only downside that's attached to it is the minutes, but I don't see why they hold her back in this key matchup. So
She looks pretty good in the last game.
she played what 21 minutes.
it was like 15.
It wasn't too many minutes, but the first half she had I think she had like 11, 12, maybe 13 PRA in the first half in very limited minutes. So
Yeah,
she
she
gets a full
played
run here. She should do pretty well.
14:39.
Okay, yeah, I really like that PRA as well since last night. So glad we're all in agreement on that. And then is there anyone else that you wanted to go over? Bonner, Brianna Jones, Heidemann.
Bonner's points. I think she
Yeah.
got just around 20 points both matchups this year.
Yeah, she did.
She's pretty consistent around that 20-point mark. I think she can get at least 14 points here. I'd like the over on that. Not a core play just because of how inconsistent she is, but
Yeah.
if you see, looks a little pattern going on here. So she's gonna get a green here.
Yeah,
Next game.
she's just her shot is up and down, but that's how it is for some shooters. When she catches fire, she shoots lights out. So
Yeah, when she wants to play.
yeah,
Um,
For sure.
I still think that Brianna Jones, her real points, 12 and a half, still definitely in play for us. She put up a lot of points on them this season as well.
I guess so. If you're worried about John Cole Jones being limited for any reason or minutes again, or too much, I guess you would play Brianna Jones points instead, right?
Yeah, and Jonquil's still that much of a capable player. Like if she's in limited minutes, limited being like 25, maybe 28 minutes, she could still even probably get that 8.5 rebound prop.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Pair her rebound with if you want to go with Brianna Jones points, pair the JJ's rebound with her points. I like that. Any other targets that we did not go over for Connecticut?
I think that's pretty good. But I think our first two plays for Connecticut, I expect them to get bumped. As mostly everywhere else, they're Courtney Williams or PRA is down pretty much everywhere else, and John Quell's higher everywhere else. So I expect.
What is it at for John Quell and other?
It was 26.5 last I checked.
Okay.
It might even go up again. I think people are going to go all over that PRA, especially if they say she doesn't have a minutes limit.
Yeah. We should get that news if they do release it in time because that game starts first. So, okay. All right, we're going to move on to the third game. This game starts an hour later. Before we do a catch up with chat real quick. Ricky said, "I let my group know you're alive." Hey, I appreciate that, Ricky. Thanks, man. It's better to have more people teamwork here. So you guys got ideas? Definitely shout it out in the chat. Things that we're not on or not aware of. It's the best way to take down the house. Thanks, Io. Appreciate that, man. Silent said, "I like Jewel under PRA. She just hasn't hit it lately with Tina getting more minutes and chances." Yeah, I took her under on points that last game. Definitely worked out. It's just risky with her if she gets hot. That's the only thing. But I get it. I think you could consider that maybe her 1.5 3-point made prop. Lorenzo, what's up, man? Bonner points are too low for the matchup and her points and rebound. Hey, Cade's with you on that. Obi said F the scorekeepers. Yeah, I know, right? Lorenzo said Alyssa Thomas assists and points are too low for the matchup. Yeah, I it makes sense if you want to do a little correlation there with the Alyssa Thomas assist and Bonner's points. Totally get it. Her fantasy points might always be the better option, Dylan said. I'm not sure. I think he's talking about John Quall, maybe? Oh, no. Sorry, you're talking about Jewel. Yeah. Underrated said you better stay away from Gabby Unders. Yeah, she's our girl. We can't do that to her. I appreciate that, Alex. Thanks, man. Alex does sound like JD from Korn. I have no idea what he sounds like. I mean, I remember Korn. Listen to it, but yeah.
Thank you.
Courtney Williams over 1.5 turnovers. Hey, Mattel, it's not a bad call out. With Seattle. Huh?
Courtney Williams turnovers. That's a really good point.
Yeah, it's a great call out.
All of Connecticut, basically, their turnovers, they've been turning the ball over like crazy against Seattle. I think Bonner and Courtney, at least those two, have gone over their turnover props, both matchups. Most places, I've seen they've got Courtney at 2 turnovers, so 1.5 turnovers definitely in play.
Yeah, I like that. Great call. Yeah, because everything like we said, Seattle being such elite perimeter defense and causing so many turnovers can definitely happen.
Yeah, or if you're just scared to take some unders on her, that's a short over.
Yeah. What's up, Nathan? What's good, lads? Swervo said any 2-teamers. Yeah, I get we'll get to our favorite plays at the end once we wrap this up. We're gonna try to speed through this game and get to the late night hammer because we really like that game. But there's some key pieces in this game because Donnie's out and it's a low spread. So let's just get into it. We got Washington at Dallas. Dallas 2-point favorites. Donnie is out; she's resting. So we're gonna have Hines Allen come in and fill in her spot. And I've been really researching, looking into her as of late, and I'm watching her in games. She is an absolute black hole as well in terms of ball hogging and shooting. When she gets the ball, especially when she comes off the bench, she just does not look to pass or do anything else but shoot. So she's not a great shooter like Brian Howard, around 38% on the field. But yeah, Donnie's out. She's going to get it done. And the key thing about Dallas, they bleed points in the paint. They are second in opponents' points in the paint allowed. So yeah, they just get burned there. We just saw Egbo have a monster game against them in their most recent game, I think, over the weekend. So definitely a favorable spot for this front court. For Washington, it's just really hard to land on which one's going to have that efficient game because all the lines are really low, but for good reason. They're just not efficient in terms of scoring and their shooting. So I think if we look at the advanced stats, if you look at the usage, Hines Allen, going to my thing about being a ball hog, she leads the team in usage 24 when Donnie's not out there. So if she's going to ball hog, and she's also really decent rebounder, I think we could target her points and rebound props. And then if you want to just get them both, I think the 15.5 point rebound is the way to go. Yeah, 52% of her points are going to come in the paint. So that's favorable against Dallas. The point prop is only 9.5. So I'm leaning towards that. I get if you want to do the 5.5 rebound too. Or if you just want to, like I said, do the 15.5 points rebound. So that's one that stood out to me. And then I think Cloud's points with Donnie out, it's always in play. It's just with her, can she land her 3-point shots? She's going to have to get it done with her 3-point shooting to get over that. And she comes out aggressive in the first half and with her shooting a lot of times. And then towards the end of the game, she'll start to go back to her playmaking and distributing it out to players and rack up those assists. So those are the kind of two that stood out to me. What is your guys' thoughts on Atkins' assists? Is there any difference with when Donnie's in or out with her assist rate?
I don't think it changes
tell you.
much.
Yeah.
She assumes just more shooting responsibility. So, I mean, if she's not passing it back and forth really between her and Cloud, there's not much assist action for the team going on.
Yeah. Atkins did pretty well against Dallas this year in one of the games, I think. But not strong enough of a play, in my opinion, in this kind of slate.
Yeah, she's really regressed towards the end of the season. She was someone that we were targeting early on in the season. She was playing really well, and then has really taken a step back, I feel like.
Yeah. For Washington, I used to talk about the front court is pretty weak for Dallas. Shakira Austin, without Deladon this year, she's got at least 6 rebounds, which is her rebound prop. She's gotten it in at least 7 out of 9 games without Deladon. The only 2 misses came both times against Connecticut, who are the number 1 rebounding team. So
I like it.
I think it's she can get at least 6. She's got pretty consistent minutes here too. Right around 20 at least in all these games. Even got 29 last game without Deladon. So
I like the pairing. You could do Hines Allen points or Cloud's points and pair that with the Austin 6 rebound. I like that.
Austin's birthday was on the 25th.
How old is she?
no.
How old is she? She's young, right?
Yeah,
Rookie.
she's super young.
Eric, did you have any favorite plays on Washington with Donnie being out?
No, man, this has been my kryptonite all season.
I hear you. Both these teams.
Donnie out, and not even Donnie out. It's Donnie out with Washington on the road. That's been like the most infuriating thing ever because they'll play Cloud, and usually Hines Allen like the most of any of the players. And even if the game's not close, the coach will just leave Cloud out there for like all the way up until the end of the fourth quarter and then pull her. So I think you could probably still, game theory and what we put down on paper would say, hey, let's tack Dallas on the inside with some of these bigs and some of the high volume characters. So I can get behind Hines Allen, maybe points rebound, but even that's still kind of like a tad out of her, normal production whenever Donnie's off the floor. So I think you could go there just with some level of confidence, but we got McOden on the other side and like the 10 different centers that play for Dallas. So we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that Washington's just burned us enough times here, and they're high enough in the standings that this game's not going to matter against Dallas.
That's true. Yeah, I guess this is the one game.
To be, I think Washington, they're hoping to win this game, and then I think if Connecticut loses, then they'll take their spot in the rankings. So there's more to this game for Washington than you'd probably think.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, both Washington and Dallas are teams I hate targeting, so I'm with you on that, Eric.
Yeah. I mean, this game it's probably the weakest game in the slate for props. But, Deladon's sitting out. She's going to play in that back-to-back against Seattle. So they're anticipating that game a lot. They might overlook Dallas here. But yeah, I totally agree with you. This is a team that's really not done us very much justice this year.
Um, okay, well, to segue over to Dallas real quick, and we can breeze through them because I don't like anything Dallas. Am I crazy to think? Can we go under on McOden's props here? Maybe your points. It's a terrible matchup for Washington's second on paint defense, and look at the defensive ratings for their front court. I mean, Clark is a 90, Austin's 93, and then Hines Allen sliding in now. She's a 94. McDoden's been productive, but she's also went against really weak paint defenses as of late, and especially Indiana in that most recent game, who is the worst. Is this too risky with 11.5 points for McGoden?
No, I like it. I mean, it's a bad matchup, as you said. And Shakira Austin, she's not afraid of anybody, especially when Deldon's out. I think she kind of amped herself up for games like this, especially on defense. She's not going to be afraid of McOden and the giant that she is.
Right.
And I think she might attack on offense, draw a few fouls, and McGowan's going to get in foul trouble maybe.
Yeah, that's always a possibility with her for sure. Is there any? I didn't like any other props for Dallas. So if you guys got them, definitely share them, shout them out.
Only one I kind of like, maybe Enrique's assist, because she got locked down against Washington last game. I think she had 5 points, or in their home game against Washington at least. She just got locked down, and Washington, they like to do that. We've seen it all year. They like to, whenever there's a very dominant scorer on their team, they love to double, send crazy looks at them, swarm them, make a pass. So at 3 is pretty low. A pretty high chance it pushes. I think it probably will push or get 4 here.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree. It's ugly for Dallas.
Yeah.
And Jay Crowder Thornton is playing huge minutes with Sabby out. I think in most recent games, she's playing like 34 minutes now. Because remember, she had
reminded me.
Prior to that, she was losing out on big minutes when Sabby was playing and they were running that different unit. But now she's soaking up all those minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To that point, Harrison's getting another nice boost from that too. She had 2 monster games against Washington this year, like 20 plus PRA. Obviously, I think she had more minutes in those games, but she can at least get 13 PRA here, I think.
Yeah, but if she plays 34, I mean, she played 34 minutes most recent game against Indiana, and then the game before that, she played 34 minutes on the dot, both games.
Yeah.
Her rotation looks pretty locked in.
Stand out. Yeah.
Is it too Jay Crowderish though?
I mean, he did pretty good against Dallas, so who knows?
Or if people want to consider, I guess we would probably want a PRA, right? Because she can rebound.
Yeah, go PRA. Yeah, and then the only other player is Harrison for Dallas, and I wouldn't even look at anyone else. I wouldn't even dare take Alicia Gray. Wouldn't even dare take Mabry. Wouldn't even dare.
Oh. She's either scoring 8 points or 5 to 8 points or 25.
Right.
Mabry. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay. Let's move on.
I like it.
Okay, this is the game. It's late night hammer, so it starts at 10 p.m. Eastern. 164. So it's tied with the what was it, the Minnesota game with the highest total on the slate. And we have LA at Phoenix. This is the 4th time and final time they're meeting this season. So we have 3 games of data to go off of. And the biggest change in this matchup is obviously Liz is gone. So she's no longer with them. And yeah, so we're going to have, and Shanae's back from her illness. She missed the last game. So she's going to come in and continue to, dominate and fill that role. She was doing really well when Liz was missing and out with COVID. So I expect her to come right in and pick up where she left off. And I really like her in this matchup. So I mean, I would say that I like both sisters in this matchup, and they were actually playing really well together. If you watch the games, they're passing it back and forth to each other on fast breaks and give and goes. So, yeah, I think it's a boost for both of them. It's a really, really good matchup. Both these teams are bottom in defensive rating, bottom three. Phoenix is 10th, and the Sparks are 11th, and both are terrible rebounding teams. So that sets up nicely for the sisters, and I believe that Phoenix gives up like some of the most offensive rebound putback points, and Chene is really good at that, and NECA as well. So definitely opportunity for them to rebound and score here. I would just say probably just get exposure to both, and I'm probably not going to pair them in the same card. But yeah, I like Chene's fantasy. You can even do her points and rebound, and then NECA. I think since yesterday we liked her 18.5 points because I feel like it's a discount in this matchup and pace, and obviously with Liz gone, I think other places have her at 19.5 too, other sites. So a little discount there. What is your guys' lean? Do you guys like NECA more, or do you like Chene equally? And how are you going to handle targeting both of them?
I like them equally. Chene's giving me Cheyenne vibes from when they played Phoenix about a week ago. I think they're very similar players. Yeah, and their lines are like the same. I'm getting like deja vu with this kind of play here.
So you're staying away?
No. Like back when we were taking her almost every game. That's what I'm feeling right here. When we took her against Phoenix. Same sort of thing here, I think, because she's not gonna score all the time, but she's gonna score. She's gonna rebound. Same sort of thing here. Get a few stocks maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, fantasy score for me. And NECA, I think her points are a little too low, below 20. I would take them.
I like it. Yeah, definitely right there with you. And Shanae, she's just kind of a do-it-all candidate, and we've seen her rack up the stocks too and carry us pretty far with that, and in a really low effort shooting game for the most part. So after last minute illness, getting ruled out this last game, she's going to have a little bit of extra rest on the whole team here, and hopefully come out with some spry legs. And like the NECA real points call as well. We saw that game that Liz exited or didn't play in. She just absolutely erupted. Had like 20 plus real shot attempts that game.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I mean, ridiculous amount here. They are on the road, so it might knock down a couple of their stats here and there, but we've been attacking Phoenix with the long ball players here, and NECA will definitely make it rain from as many opportunities as she can here. And she put up, I believe, 3 threes in every meeting this season. No, she went to the free throw line, 3+, but we know she's going to chuck it just a ton of times, and she hit 23, 19, and 23 points on Phoenix this season. So that was with Liz in. Just imagine what this game's going to look like with her out.
Totally. I guess one question I have is they're holding out on Canada's props, and is it because we don't know the official starting lineup if it's going to be Carter or Canada?
I hope it's not Carter.
Carter is bane of my existence, man. Like Carter single-handedly ruined NECA's props in the last game they played, like with just ball hogging and turnover after turnover.
Yeah, I think it's more of Tolliver though, because Tolliver was starting, so she's probable, but she's not officially ruled in yet.
Okay.
So they're probably waiting on that, and to alleviate some of those Trinity Carter fears, I think she basically gets bumped down. Lexi's back, Tolliver should be back. She's probably going to get 10 or less minutes, hopefully.
I hope so, because we want Canada out there with more minutes. Because she's a playmaker for the team. She averages, 5 assists
for sure,
and
she gives up some turnovers, so that helps.
Oh, speaking of that, she but she had 8 turnovers in one matchup. I think she had
Oh,
4.
jeez.
She had 4 in the other one, and then 3 in the other one. She had 8, 4, and 3. I remember.
Okay,
If you had
so let's
turnover
keep her.
yeah,
Yeah,
she just
we
called it.
usually get that for her.
Okay, good. Yeah, she's averaging 2.5. If they give it at 2.5, definitely play.
Yeah, I like that.
I imagine Sky is racking up a lot of those stocks on her. Is there any other prop? Since we don't have the full roster yet for Sparks on the board. Do you guys like anything else besides the sisters?
No,
Okay.
no,
Not a lot, no.
definitely not Sykes. I'll tell you that.
Okay. Let's go to Phoenix. Really like some plays on here, especially our girl Skylar, and that's why she's a cover girl. She absolutely torches LA. If you look at the last 3 matchups, she's had well over this point prop at 19.5. What is it, like 28, 27, and then 22 or something like that? She absolutely destroys them. Love it. Core play. And if you've been watching her lately, she's just in on a mission. Yeah, she's on a mission, 100%.
And she just dropped her little her stuff with Puma like yesterday or today. She's gonna want as many highlights as possible. You know.
Yeah.
She's gonna. She might pull a
she got bumped?
Dirty Diana.
Yeah, she got bumped right as we were going live.
We were talking about it.
That's okay.
They saw our thumbnail and they're like, okay, we know what they're doing.
It's still at her season average of 20.
Yeah, I'm still taking it.
Did they give us a free throw prop for her yet? 4.5. Okay. Shanae, she'll foul. She'll rack up fouls. So.
Yep.
If you're scared of this higher little bump in the points, I think you can consider her free throw too. But yeah, I like everything Sky today. And other one that I like, and I'll hang up to you guys. I liked Petty for either her points and rebound, or just her rebound. She has been super aggressive on the glass because basically Taurasi and Skylar are dominating the usage, and she's just crashing in and grabbing so many offensive rebounds, which is making her have these spike rebounding games. So I think in a pace matchup like this, 2 bad defenses, and I think a lot of shots going up. I think her rebounds could be in play, but she's also been getting done scoring wise. I know it's negatively correlated with Sky's props, but they can both get it done. I think the 15.5 PR is in play as well. And then her assists are now all the way down to 3.5 because her playmaking has just not been there. But
Skylar's big at that.
Yeah. What is your guys' thoughts on her? And then were there other core plays that you liked for Phoenix?
Yeah. Petty, kind of stay away from Petty. Recently, she's just been, she's been everywhere, rebounding, assisting, but it's hard to pinpoint what she's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But Diana's 3-point prop at 3, I think it's safe again for a push. As we know, at home, she's going to get 3-pointers made, no matter what. She'll chuck 30 times like Ryan Howard if she needs to. She'll get 3. And Sparks are near top of the league allowing 3-point attempts. So
yeah, they're second. Yep. I like it. She was 1 of 10 in the last meeting. That's just an outlier game. I was on the road too.
On the road, so it makes sense.
And if you look at the game at home, she was against LA. She was 3 of 9. So I think that's
at home.
Yeah, I think that's more accurate. She was 2 of 8 on the road. Definitely home road split effect there. So I can get behind it. Eric, did you have any other Phoenix plays?
Yeah, I actually liked Brianna Turner. Her just a blanket on the fantasy score today. She's smacked them all 3 meetings this year so far, and then last year as well. She in 2 of 3 games cleared that, and the one she missed, it was at 19.5, so just barely missed out on that. I think there's just enough pace and opportunity to fall into a couple of rebounds here for the team. Plus, we got maybe a little bit more experience for her over Chanae on the other side. And if we're going to have a couple of these, now third stringers are going to be filling in as backups for both of the Agumake sisters here. She could fall into a couple more stocks here and there. And we've been attacking Phoenix for some of these turnovers, or we've been attacking. My goodness, what am I talking about? The Sparks here for some of these turnovers. And if that means that NECA and Shanae are both going to have the ball in their hands a lot more of the majority, then she's going to be in that near area to probably pick up some action off of one or two of them. So I just like it as a whole. She's going to play a lot of minutes tonight, and yeah.
Oh, she's gonna play the most minutes behind probably Sky. So, Sky leads the team with 34 minutes, and Turner's right there behind her at 33.7. I mean, there's definitely potential to get it done on the glass. She hasn't been getting it done lately on the glass, but this matchup sets up nicely because both teams are bottom in rebounding. Sparks are 10th, and Phoenix is dead last. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of rebounds to go around in this matchup. She's going to have to get it done with the rebounding and stocks because she's not going to take many shots, but I can see it.
Surprisingly, in this matchup, because I wanted to hit on that real fast because somebody had mentioned going on under her points. Some of her highest point totals, 2 out of the 3 of them are in this matchup. So I'd be a little weary about taking some unders here.
Yep, for sure.
But that was against Liz too, right?
Yeah, Liz is kind of slow.
Yeah.
Chanae, so.
But Chanae can foul her. She gets the free throw line, that's for sure.
Yeah. She's totally gonna foul, and that's why I wouldn't take the under the points.
Yeah.
She's probably gonna get 2 free throws at least.
Yeah. Okay, and then to wrap up, Phoenix finished with Sophie. She recently tweeted that she got her hair done, and she's gonna be sassy.
Feeling sassy. Oh yeah.
Whatever that means. Take it for however you want.
She's still got a black eye too, if I'm not mistaken.
To go with the new hair done. Are you guys staying away from her?
Yeah.
Probably.
It's such a nice 3-point shooting against the Sparks.
That's true. She can have her hands full on NECA though. On defense.
Yeah, she is. She is. Yeah, and they have her 3-point prop at 3. There's no way I would take that over Tarasiano.
Yeah, I would actually consider the under. Yeah. Just with the eye situation, defense, she's going to be focusing on defense majority of the night, I'd say.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. All right. Look, you guys want to do a team card, and then we'll get out of here. We'll have exactly an hour before lock if we can get done in 5 minutes, and then we can build our top 10 rankings. We'll share on Twitter and Discord, and we'll try to do that like at least 30 minutes before lock because it's going to take a little bit to edit and revise it and make it. But all right, Eric, you want to go first? Since under the weather, we'll let you lead off.
Yeah. Let's go with. I want to take the obvious one here. We'll get call. I think Caleb McBride at 13.5 real points is way too low. Going the over.
Okay. Cade?
Jonko Jones, PRA.
I like it. And then I'm going to go with Sky's points.
I like that.
I just want to make sure we get it in there for this one card. All right, Eric.
And what was yours? You said Sky's points.
Yeah.
Let's go with Chennai Fantasy. I'll correlate with our Sky points there.
Those are definitely core plays. Like it. And then, Kate, you want to add one to in case people want to flex if they're playing any of these?
Do
playing this card?
Wheeler under turnovers.
I like it. Just get it.
Oh yeah.
If you don't feel comfortable with that, I get it if you want to go with Wheeler's assist too. Where is she?
Top left, middle
I can
left.
never find her.
Right
Oh,
there.
because she still has her Sparks jersey on. That's why. Under. Yep. Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah, I think this gets a lot of our core plays. I think another core play of ours would be the Courtney under PRA, and maybe Mariah Jefferson's 11.5 PRA too. Throw in there. It's just some other options. But you guys, if you're following along, watching see where we were for each team and our favorite plays. But yeah, I guess we'll close out with chat and see. Emerson said, "What about Brina Turner? First half under 2 points. takes guts to make money, man. Do it." Hey, appreciate you, ECW. Thank you. Patel said, "Are y'all dropping the rankings per game of the whole slate?" Whole slate. We'll do it. Like I said, I'll probably try to get it done in 30 minutes. Okay. Oh, and yeah, I guess the last one I forgot to mention would be Ryan Howard's fantasy or points to throw in here too. Okay. You guys, Eric, you want to, let them know where they can find you on YouTube. It's on the cover, and then I think it's also in the link below with your YouTube channel. But
Yeah, you guys can follow me over at Eric's Prop Stop, and check me out on Twitter. You made it happen. I know haven't been posting many videos for this week. Plus, we had kind of a weird schedule. Monday and Wednesday, no games. So that was a little strange. But
Yeah.
got a busy weekend ahead, and I'm getting my voice back. So we'll be back at it.
all right, Kate, anything you want to finish off with?
Nah, man. I think we're just gonna have a nice night tonight. Make some money. Have some
Let's do
good
it.
times.
Let's do it. I love the late night hammer. Anytime Phoenix is playing at home on a slate, I like the slate. So
Oh
I
yeah.
hope that game just doesn't let us down. I hope the sisters come through, make Skylar stay aggressive and keep up the scoring. So that's a game script I'm hoping for. All right, guys. We will be back. Is there games normal slate tomorrow?
Yeah, we got 2 games.
Okay. We'll be back for that tomorrow. And then, it's I'm looking forward to hope to see a lot of screenshots from you guys. And yeah, let's take the house's money for sure. All right, good luck, guys.
Peace.
Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. 24/7 researching, it's all a fantasy. But if I make the right plays, it pays automatically. Bankroll showing that I know it dope strategy. On a winning streak, I'm stacking a dose of the bookies, all get mad at me. Confident with power plays, not clicking on a flex today. 10 times the money, and we all about to get paid. Eric and Josh on the stream, they be killing it. Never gonna stop it, I like if you feeling it. Digging the players, they all know what time you can't make up your mind and just go with your gut. Fantasizing Sasha Cloud, Gabby Williams said watch your mouth. They 1 and they 2, I play the over, they come through. Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum, pick them both, we stacking them. Going big to the maximum, just push them in, we cashing them. Let's fucking go, we about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go, we going out blazing. This is population. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. We about to go big.
This is the game.
We going out blazing.
Let's get hunting.
This is population.